advocate, fantastic woman. This is the kind of woman this woman has lived in Africa over 2 decades, almost 3 decades in Africa. He's done everything in Africa. He was born in the diaspora, but he lived most of her life in Africa. He was involved in a lot of things to bring the diaspora expertise back home. If you have a topic like this, then you can agree with me that it is not out of place to get her to speak on this topic. So he's going to have between 15 to 20 minutes opening statement, and based on the statement, the conversation will start. You are free to ask any question. You are free to also add your contribution when the need arises. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we invite Mrs. Sherry Thompson to take over.
Very good. Thank you so much. Actually, I came to Ghana at the age of 34. So I've lived most of my life in the U.S., but thank you for your prophecy, Francis. I will be living most of my life in Africa as of today. So we're looking forward to another year. We're 34 years plus. I came here 27 years ago, and I became a citizen of Ghana on December 22nd, 2022. That was last December 22nd. And wow. I was so happy. Yeah, very much so. I was so happy to be a part of the 250 that were given dispensation under the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. Okay, so that's me and Ghana, and how I'm excited about being a citizen of this country. Apart from that, I came here. People always ask me, why did you come to Ghana? As if that was a problem, that I should come to Ghana is a problem. Why did you come to Ghana? They always ask it that way too. It's amazing. And I got to tell you, the reason I came to Ghana was basically for my children's education.
Wow.
I basically did not want my children to grow up with racism. Didn't want them to have that paradigm as part of their mixture. It was very difficult for me growing up to experience the racism I did, but it was funny because it was the kind of thing that you saw it. I'm in New York. It's not like I'm down south. Different story there. But the New York type of racism was covert. You would get conversations or comments like, oh, when I applied to college, I applied to Ivy League institutions. My counselor looked at my applications and where I was applying, and he says, oh, Sherry, you need to pick a safe school. What do you mean by safe school? These are safe. They have security and everything. But that's not what she was talking about. She was talking about the school I can get into, as if I couldn't get into Harvard or Cornell or Dartmouth or any of the ones that I decided to get into. So I picked Vassar. I picked, other colleges that she could feel that were safe. But I ended up going to Cornell University. I was young. And so those experiences were the ones that said to me, I don't want my children going through this type of thing. So when I married a Ghanaian, I said, wow, let me see what kind of education I want my children to have. Frankly, I did not want my children to grow up with the peer pressure and the stuff that was going to be around them, because we were living in Chicago at the time. So I went to the playground one day with my daughter. And as I'm walking the playground, I'm seeing things at the playground that nobody should be playing with, not even adults. crack vials. I saw little ends of marijuana cigarettes. I saw spent condoms. I saw. And the place, this is a playground. This is children playing here. Why are these things on the playground at the school? I did the same investigation in New York, and same kind of thing. I wasn't excited about seeing the things that I saw on a playground. So I made the decision for my kids to come here and to learn about, at the time, my husband's culture, my husband's portion of what his life was like. And I did not come with them. I sent them first because I really felt that I wanted to have some space. I wasn't ready to be a mom. So I gave myself a little time to kind of get acclimated to the idea, about 2 years. When I finally came with my children here already, we moved into a home, and I began to be a parent. My husband did not come with me at the time. He stayed in Chicago and sent money. And that was the arrangement. And I got to tell you, it wasn't the best. For me, I'm here with 3 children. I did get here, and of course, the next thing I know, a month later, I'm pregnant. I thought it was in the water, but it wasn't. Wasn't the water. I have now 3 kids, and I'm raising them pretty much by myself. But they go to a good school. And when I look at the playground at the school they went to, there's nothing there but toffee wrappers and ice cream wrappers and that kind of thing. So I said, aha, I'm in the right place. And the education they got there helped them to understand who they were as people. They didn't have to, compete with anybody else but themselves. So I have a 33-year-old, I have a 32-year-old, and I have a 26-year-old. He's the one that was born here in Ghana. And I got to tell you, it was amazing to raise these kids. My first daughter, she liked to model. So I'd be running around trying to get her to her modeling appointments and to rehearsals and to all of these type of things. And she loved it. She's fashion, she's my creative, and she liked that. And I encouraged that as much as possible. I encouraged a lot of things that my children wanted to do. And at the time, we went ahead and we just did things that they wanted to do. If they said they were interested in it, I figure out how to get them involved. My second daughter wanted to build planes and fly. Oh my gosh. At that time I said, why? What's going on here? Do I have to send her back to space camp in the United States? This is something that I thought about. And then my son wanted to play basketball. And at the time, Ghana basketball, it wasn't that kind of situation where there was a lot of basketball here. So he actually finished high school in Iowa. Yeah, he went to Iowa. That's later on. You could ask about that one and what happened with that. But he enjoyed it. He was pretty much out of 6 kids in his school, high school. I think in his grade there was 6 Black students, something like that. But he got along because he knew who he was, and he did not grow up with any racist mentality. So people liked him because he doesn't see that kind of problem. He didn't experience that. He didn't experience the racism. And so it worked. What the decision worked. It was a good decision to have them here. have them be here in Ghana. So talking about the strategy, how do we get our diaspora back to the motherland? How do we get them to come and be a part of development here? Well, I got to tell you, what got me here was the idea of being able to educate my kids in the culture, to be able to educate my kids in a way that they could know their identity, know who they are as people. That was important for me. So one of the strategies that I would say is that we identify good schools for our young people, for the children, because education is very much primal when it comes to families, black families, black American families, diasporan families. They want their children to be educated. They want their children to know this culture. That's something that they talk about. The children should have an idea of this culture, the African culture. What is it about? How can they be a part? How can they learn? My kids speak Ga, and they speak Tree. My son speaks a bit of Fanti because one summer I decided to send him down to friends that were in um, Sekondi, Takrady, Takrady, that area. And he learned to speak Fanti. So that was important for me to see that they become a part of this culture. Now, people ask me, why did I learn? Well, I discovered there were 54 distinct languages in Ghana. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, what if my ancestors were speaking this language and I'm coming to learn another language? You know, I had that. I said that to myself. But 54 languages, distinct ones, not dialects, distinct languages, means that folks way back centuries ago, in the next village, they were speaking a different language. And so, we have to make a choice when we come here to understand that the language of English is what we have, and it helped us. It helped us to move forward with a whole lot of different people. So I say language acquisition is important when you come here. It's important that you think about it, but don't beat yourself up about it if you don't have language acquisition. After 27 years, I'm not going to beat myself up about the fact that I don't speak a distinct African. I speak Swahili. That's what I learned in college, Swahili. So I went ahead and decided to learn Swahili. I didn't know they did not speak Swahili in West Africa. That's something that I should have probably discovered. But as I'm speaking to you all now, I'm looking forward to hearing some of your questions about and what we need to be doing to gain or to get our talented people here to develop the continent. One of the things I look forward to is a softer landing. People are already in culture shock when they come. We don't need to put them in more culture shock. They don't need the trauma of, housing and getting housing at the cost of what they were getting in the United States. We need to figure that out better. There's a 2 million unit deficit in housing, and that's definitely a problem because right now what we see is the cost of living is going up, and people are saying the diaspora coming here is why the cost of living is going up. Well, we need to figure that out. We need to make sure that everybody is rising together and that we're not creating a divide between the folks that are coming back from the diaspora and the folks that are indigenous to Africa. We don't want that divide. That was part and parcel of what happened in Liberia. We're not going to repeat that situation.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Mrs. Sherry Thompson. Before we come back to you, let me introduce our guests on the call. Our participants are family members who are on call this moment. So, Kimama, Madam Catherine Kujo, he said opening prayer. She is the president of the National Ghana Parade Council, New York, and also the founder and president of the Kimama Foundation. And then our guest today, Mrs. Sherry Thompson, thank you for coming. Mr. Ejeye Boa, you are a student at KNUST. I know you are writing exams tomorrow, but you are here. God bless you. God bless you. Madam
Amen.
Maria Daniels, thank you so much for joining us. Africa Global. At appropriate time, we'll let you know who Africa Global is. Ambassador Apostle Amos, thank you so much for coming on call. Mr. David Gomado, thank you so much for coming. Madame Doris, thank you. EOG, thank you so much. Smart HD, at appropriate time, we'll get to know who you are when it's time for the interactions. Mr. Jacob Kutufam, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, thank you so much for coming. Jazira, the educator, thank you so much for coming. At the appropriate time, we know who you are. Madame Juan, thank you so much. Legend, thank you. Mr. Michael Kwanedu, an agronomist, thank you so much. We know the kind of work you are doing for coconut industry for Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Michael Kwanedu. Nene Adinoti Okujato. Thank you so much. You are one of the traditional rulers in Ghana. I respect so much. Thank you for coming. Madame Sylvia, thank you so much for coming. Then Techno BF6 at appropriate time when it gets to the interaction, we get to know who you are. And then another name, Utilizer Detour, I think is a French speaking individual. Thank you so much for also being on the call. And we are honored to have Dr. Victor Akam. In fact, this topic was born out of the earlier presentation he did in May, and he raised the issue that we should, the countries in Africa should adopt a good scholarship scheme to bring the diaspora also to come and study here in Africa and contribute their expertise to develop the land. And out of this, we are talking about a strategy to this. So, Dr. Akam, we're so grateful to have you on this call today. And appropriate, I think we'll go to hear from you again. Then we have Nene. Nene, I don't know whether it's Nene Lomo or any other Nene, but Nene, thank you also for being on the call. Ladies and gentlemen, Madame Sherry Thompson has used her own life expertise, how she managed to be here and be living in Ghana for close to 3 decades, 27 years now. And the most amazing thing is the fact that her children are even able to speak the language. He also went ahead to talk about us identifying good schools that can also attract the diaspora to come home. He talked about teaching the culture, our language, our food, our appearance. And one of the things he said that even the fact that we also speak English here also helps the diaspora also to move. And he concluded by saying that soft landing, we don't have to administer culture shock to the people. And then the double sales of land, housing deficit, and the cost of living. We touch on some of these issues that we should be able to also address them as we talk about getting the diaspora to come back home. Where we are right now, I'm going to invite all of you to come on board. It's a family conversation. It's not about somebody knowing too much to come and tell or teach. It's about us having a conversation that will inure to the benefits of the entire continent Africa. So don't keep your idea or your contribution to yourself. Now the floor is open. Just go to the reactions and then raise your hand, and we'll call you to give your contribution. If you come on, because we don't have enough time. You have to be snappy and as much as straightforward as much as possible. Thank you so much. Thank you. So just go to the reactions, and then you'll see a raise hand. You touch on the raise hand, and then we'll be able to identify you and we'll call you. Okay? Okay, so like I said, the floor is open right now. If you have any contribution, any comment, any addition, any question for our guest, the time is now. Okay?
Okay, let me say something.
Okay, so hand up, Mr. David Gomado, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
David.
Good evening.
My name is David, and I want to thank Madam Sherry so much. I don't know if she remembers me. I hope she does. I met her a couple of months ago, and it was so interesting listening to her story. And I was also amazed by her motivation to stay in Ghana for all these years. But I would like her to touch on the business aspect because she has initiatives that she has contributed to the country gaining her the name Mama Lou. If she could tell us the motivation for that and some of the experiences she'd had, basically, so can be also that can be a strategy for others as well, aside getting schools for them. Maybe someone wants to come and has an idea, something that they
Yes,
want to contribute in the country. If there's any advice on how they can go about that.
very
Thank you.
good. Very
Thank you
good.
very
Um,
much.
s- Certainly, one of the things that I came to do, one of the first things I looked at in this society was solar. That was the first thing I looked at. At the time, it was too new. People just weren't there. Renewable energy, we didn't even have a renewable energy bill. But what wasn't new was biogas, biosanitation, toilet facilities. Now, in the regime of Jerry John Rollins, they had looked at biogas as energy, as an energy source, but they did not look at it as a sanitation source, which is what was needed really. So when we looked at Apollonia, which was one of the model pieces that they had the sanitation piece there. It was working very well. And so one of the things that I decided to do was take a look at building biogas toilet facilities. We did the biggest one at the South Lekma and North Lekma cluster of schools. The funding was received from the Global Environment Technology Fund, and who made up that fund was Coca-Cola, the Rain Foundation, and USAID. And so for better sanitation, we built Mama Lou's at 2 schools. And we then proceeded to deal with the behavior change communication for those schools. When people come to Ghana, especially from the diaspora, they're looking to give back. To be very honest with you, we have so many people with NGOs, with foundations, where they're doing work in the society to help with development. And so that's what I did. I didn't have an entrepreneurial bone in my body at the time. That came later when I saw that our young people were talking about being entrepreneurs and starting their own businesses. And I was like, wow, okay, well, I can follow suit with that too. So I spend a lot of time with young people, mentoring them in the business of entrepreneurship.
Wow, thank you very much. So the conversation is on. I can see Mr. Kanoti Onyami. Thank you so much for joining the call. And all the way from the University of Education, Winneba, Ejumaku campus, we have Mr. Remonte Akrabetu. Thank you so much for also coming on the call. From University of Education in Kumasi, I can see Vera Dedebaki on the call. Thank you so much for coming. If I'm unable to call your name because of the identification I have on your call, your this thing, please kindly forgive me. If you send me a message in the chat room, I'll be able to call you. So we have Jazira, the educator. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself and greet those who are here this evening. My name is Jazara. Bless his heart,
Okay.
Lord. Bless his heart, Lord. Ciao. So I am affectionately called here in Ghana Obaya Papebi. Okay, that's the official
Yeah,
name.
baby.
And it's very serious. It's very serious. Okay, very serious. I'm very serious about this name. If you're a Ghanaian, you know this name is not any joke. So don't play with it. Okay. Me, myself, as I said, I just want to introduce myself and thank you for allowing this type of dialogue to happen. I met Sherry once I came here, and she's an amazing woman. So, I'm always grateful to be in a circle of good people. Me, myself, I came to Ghana back in 2006, and I have been living here back and forth since 2006. I have my children, my husband, blah, blah, blah. One thing that Sherry said that is very true, that a lot of us expats or diaspora, or however you want to call it, when we are coming to Ghana, we are coming here to help. Most of us are coming here with good intentions to help. And me, I'm not any different. Me, myself, I am an educator. Previous to coming to Ghana, I was a professor in the university and a teacher in public school. I'm also a fashion designer and I do a whole bunch of things. But what I do here in Ghana is teach the children, mostly in rural areas, different types of subjects, because I feel like I've been here long enough and I see the change that is going on in Ghana. And I can't say that it's the best change that's going on in Ghana. But if you've been here long enough, you can see the turn is kind of going downward and it's getting strange here. Okay. So my purpose has always been to teach the youth, because to be honest, it sounds like a cliche or a song or something, but the children have to be the future at this point, because what's going on currently, I don't know. We have to instill different ideals in the children. We have to instill in them integrity and selflessness and educate them on how to do business, educate them on how to carry themselves, educate them on how to love their country and, to be within Ghana and feel like they can make it here and we don't lose millions of our children every year because they just want to leave Ghana because they feel like there's nothing for them here. So myself, through my own NGO, which is called the Vince Memorial Garden and Education Foundation, I
The
go
name of the
throughout
NGO
many.
again?
Vince is to honor my son. I came here with my son. Is the Vince Memorial Garden and Education Foundation. It's mainly focused on agriculture and education for the youth and for women and others. But our main focus is educating and like urban farming and agriculture, because we are at a climate in Ghana where, regardless of whether you're a diaspora or whether you're a Ghanaian, if you're not already growing your own food to eat, you need to figure it out and learn how, because the prices of things have gone crazy. The world has gone crazy. We are sitting in a country where you can throw a seed on the ground and it will grow, but we can't buy a bag of onions because, oh, they're stuck in Burkina or some nonsense. So I believe that education is the key to us coming out of what we are in right now. And that has to start with the youth. And it has to also start with the women, because at the end of the day, we are in Ghana. You already know the story of Nana Ya Santiwa. It's nothing you can do about the power of women. So we need to be supporting them and helping them. We need to be supporting our youth and helping them. I always want to let people know I travel all through Ghana. I go to Tamale. I have classes in Kumasi, Winneba, all these locations where I teach the children about banking and finance. I teach them about agriculture. I teach them about integrity. I teach them about public speaking. I teach them the things that's not math and science specifically. We even have specific classes just to talk about why you should be proud of your country and what you want to do for it. Because to put this in their minds right now is what we have to do, because we see what our leaders are currently doing. So you have to put it in the youth. I do JHS and SHS. You don't wait until they're in university. No, you have to get them while they are young. The same way that negativity will influence a child, your positivity will impact them. So that is something I believe in very, very much. I believe in it very, very much. And through my organization, I partner with other NGOs. They will send me to schools. I will go to different schools and do my best to find a specific curriculum to help to teach the children. So I just wanted to, thank everyone on the panel for listening to me. And again, thanking you for this type of conversation, because sometimes us diaspora, we do feel a little bit helpless because unfortunately we haven't gotten to the point where we have any say for real in the political process. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation for a different time because we'll be here all night. But it's not like I can run for president, not that I want to. It's not that we can actually affect that type of change because they haven't even gotten us to that point yet, even though they asked the diaspora to come back. So what we try to do, or those of us who do, is try to do what we can do on the level that we are at. And it's always great to be able to connect with Ghanaians who have the same mindset so that we can work together. I'm very, very much on working together. I'm not better than anyone else. We have to do this whole thing together, and it will start with the youth. So that's my bit. I'm listening. Bless your
Thank
heart.
you. Thank
Don't
you.
forget about Obaya Papebi.
Obaya Papebi, thank you
Amen.
so much for that magnificent contribution. We really appreciate. But I just want you to know that, yes, in Senegal, at the moment, there are about 16 diasporas, Senegals living in the diaspora that are in parliament now. And Ghana will soon, yes, it is. I can beat my chest and say that Senegal has a very good example, and Ghana is ready to learn from that example. And not only Ghana, the whole of Africa, because the diaspora is the deal. From the Bible days till now, it is people living in the diaspora who have always gone home to save the situations. And we believe that this time around, yes, the diaspora. But Obaya Papebi, somebody, Mr. Hughes, is requesting that you put the name of your NGO in the chat room. Yes, that's a request. And don't also forget that this conversation is being streamed live on YouTube, so that after this conversation, you can go back and learn, and look at it or listen.
Okay.
I was part of it, but I didn't say anything. The local panel said that we don't do that in Ghana. So it is a conversation. You are here. You have to say something. Just put up your hand. We'll invite you. And like I said, when you come, you try as much as possible to make it snappy so that everybody can also have the chance to say something. So please, if you have any conversation, just go back and put up your hand. We'll invite you. Any question? Reaction? Okay, Madam Maria Daniels, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good
I just
evening.
want to say I really appreciate being here and communicating with everyone and sharing ideas and asking questions and all that. Yes, I've come to Ghana. I started coming to Ghana in 2000. And then I actually moved to Ghana in 2005. So I've been in Ghana for a little bit of time, and I've kind of seen things. I came for business. That's what I came for. I came to Ghana for business. Me and my ex-husband, we came to Ghana to actually help start the dairy industry. And that's by raising a certain type of crop to feed the dairy cattle, so they can produce milk. So that was what our goal was. And of course, I met my best friend here, Sherry, when I did come. As soon as I came, I met her. But I just wanted to say that as coming over, there is things that people that come over as far as business mind, they have to realize that Ghana is totally different from the US. And
say it again and say it for the people in the back, Lord.
Yes, and but you think you're doing your research, but there's so much research to do. But my thing is that I want people to know that if they're thinking about coming to Ghana, they have to make sure they look at the what's required for the business, because it's changed. And as you all know, it's totally changed. The requirements, the different laws, everything has changed. So that is something that needs to be, put up, promoted, talked about, made aware of boldly, because you think you can just come over and just, I'm just going to come over here and then I'll just start a business. But no, that's not the way it should go. So I think there should be, some way, I don't know if it is, but there should be some way that people that are coming, they should be able to, if you're coming for business, this is what you need to see and do first and think about, and make sure you get all your ducks lined up before, because it's very, very difficult to come here and try and start a business. And then you realize, oh, these banks don't give loans. You can bring half of the monies you need for your business, but you're looking for a loan. And most banks in the US, a lot of them, they give you loans for different things, like programs that are there, but there's none of that here. So the whole business environment is totally different. So I just wanted to make that comment to let people know, or just to say that that's something that needs to be focused on strongly.
It's something that needs to be addressed strongly. When people come here to do business, and see, this is where I'm going to go back to what the problem is. If I come here with a certain amount of money and you're going to ask me to pay 1 or 2 years up front for my rent, because I'm not building a house yet, or I'm not trying to buy anything for $250,000. Although some folks come here and they do that, but we're coming from an area in a country where infrastructure is there. You got your water, you got your lights, you got your gas, things are working. You come here and you've got, you can have a home. It's you renting a home, but it's on a road that is going to tear up your car. These are things, these are infrastructural problems that need to be sorted.
Right.
That's not for just diaspora. That's for everybody.
Oh yeah.
So
but they're not even aware of that.
There are things that need to work. Building of roads on a regular basis, maintaining those on a regular basis. When people from the diaspora come back, they're coming to see stuff that should really be done on a regular basis. It's not done. And that's a problem. So there's the maintenance. So I hate when people say, "Ooh, there's no maintenance culture in Ghana." There obviously was some kind of maintenance culture, because we're here and we were able to get from point A to point B. We need to continue whatever maintenance we understood there needed to be. You can't tell me, and see, these are some of the things that get me. You build a school and you don't keep up the school. You build a community center and it's falling apart after 10 years, 20 years. You've got to maintain. We're diaspora coming back to Africa. We maintain our stuff. We spend money maintaining, so that in the generations to come, our kids have something to look at. Our kids have something to say, oh, that's part of what my family built. That's part of what my great legacy. It's called legacy. So actually, we need to take a look at legacy. What does that look like? And we need to help our people here in all walks of life understand that they are building legacy. Wealth is a part of legacy. Legacy is a part of wealth. You can't have one with out the other. It's like love and marriage, horse and carriage. Legacy and wealth go hand in hand. People want to talk about generational wealth. Well, generational wealth is from maintenance of wealth. You maintain wealth. You maintain what you have to the level that you can give it over to the next generation.
Okay, so Mrs. Sherry Thompson, there is another hand up, and I want him to come through with a question so they can add it to what you're addressing at the moment. Generational wealth also involves maintenance. Very, very philosophical statement. Thank you very much. So, Mr. EOG, kindly come through with your questions so that Madam Sherry can go ahead and add it to the current explanation he's giving us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope I am audible enough.
You are, sir.
Yes, you are.
Great. So mine is not a question, but more of information sharing. I've heard. Come again.
If you can introduce yourself, because we have just COG here. If you can introduce yourself to us so that we know you. It's a family and want to know
Very
whoever
well.
is in the family house.
Very well. My name is Edmond Osejemfi.
Okay.
I am a public administrator. I got involved with the Ghana New York Foundation, if I'm getting it right. I got involved with them when they came to my district during the Easter to hold one of their sessions. And that's how I came to know about this. And it's been interesting listening to the conversation so far. Now, what I want to put across is this. I have heard some speakers mention primarily challenges with, not challenges per se, but lack of information regarding how businesses start and operate down here in Ghana.
That's right.
We must admit that there are challenges, but perhaps the information has not come across well enough. The Office of the Registrar of Companies is streamlining its activities so that, by and large, the registration of businesses would not have to become so laborious. I am aware of an effort to move on to online registering of businesses so that from anywhere in the country, if a person is interested in registering a business to undertake some assignments in the country, they will be able to get through with it without so much stress. Now, with that out of the way, the second thing I want to mention is that for our friends here, for our family members here who are running NGOs, I would also like to invite some of them to my place of work. We will be interested in partnering with them so that together we can lift the livelihoods of the people in the rural communities and make the place good for all of us to live. That's what I want to put across.
Okay.
So
what's the name of your business? Because I didn't think that you had put the name of your business in the chat and the location, because I don't see that.
All right.
Am I audible? Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Great. I do run a private business that's into photography, but like I said, I'm a public administrator. I work with the local government service in Ghana, and for those who are not so much in the known about the business of local government, ours is to assist the development of the local communities, engage local citizens, solicit, not necessarily, but mobilize ideas, formulate plans, and primarily develop the local communities by implementing government policies and all of those.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your conversation. We really have Madame Doris, Ancient Mama. Madame Doris, aka Ancient Mama. Please go ahead with your contribution, please. Please unmute yourself, Madame Doris, Ancient Mama. Kindly unmute yourself and go ahead, okay?
Yeah. We hear you.
You hear me here, right? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I greet you all. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
You are the Accra International Conference Center. I attend your programs. Doing a great job. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Tete.
Thank you.
And Mama, I'm a professional naturopathic. I deal with organic herbal products, plant seeds, nuts, and co. And I'm also into cryptocurrency, and we have this program called Ancient Project. That's why the name Asian Mama comes by my name. Actually, we of the same like-minded people came together, and we have a project called Ancient Project. We have Ancient Media. So this Asian media is for Africa. The Asian media is even paying more than TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube and all, but people don't know about it. Ancient media. We have our Ancient Mall, and we have our Ancient Meet. Zoom is taking a whole lot of money. We have our Ancient Meet. We can meet about 100 people on the Zoom, our Meet, Ancient Meet, without paying a dime. If you want more than 100 people, you pay a token for a month or a year. This is what we have for Africa. And we are in about 160 countries and counting. We have the Asian coin, which is a cryptocurrency, digital gold. This currency coin does not depreciate like other cryptocurrencies. It appreciates always daily because it has been valued by humanity, human beings. As human beings are joining the program, the coin has up to 0.003 grains of gold, and it's valued by pledged by grains of gold. So it appreciates daily, which is a very nice project. We are having our second phase of distribution by now, and you buy one coin, $1 for $1.
Ancient Mama, how do you also think of the theme for our conversation today? What we are looking at is that the diaspora, the Africans living in the diaspora, is a huge constituency. As we speak right now, even the African Union has created a whole economic zone for them called the sixth region. So it is a very, very important constituency. It's made up of a lot of brilliant people. We are looking at how we can get them to contribute their expertise to the development of Africa. So how do you also make of the topic that we have under discussion today?
Projects like agriculture, building the community, projects in the community to employ people, to give back to society. We have all that. So if you are a member of the project, we collaborate with other companies. And this is Asian Point for you. We are of light and love. And the coin appreciate daily. Our banks are failing us. Other cryptocurrencies are dump and pump, and like you, we all have our monies in the bank. Somebody have gone to withdraw and the
Okay. Mr. Francis, please unmute yourself.
Sorry. I'm unable to pronounce your name very well. I don't know whether you are Mr. Hughes or go ahead with your contribution, sir. Hello, Mr. Hughes, go ahead with your contribution. Okay, so Mr. Stephen Yeboah, AJ Yeboah, please go ahead.
Mr. Francis, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. In fact, I'm so happy and so happy to be part of this family. Please, per what Madam Sherry said, she has said a lot, and this one is my humble plea. We all know that development of Africa, the main one is agriculture and other things, because now the food security of Africa is now at the verge of collapsing, because now there's no food, nothing else. And so please, my humble plea is that, Madam Sherry, can you people help us? Because we have a lot of human resources over here. I'm an agricultural student. Please, can you, the diaspora, help people like us who has finished or who is ongoing to school? so that the diaspora can help us to just build our capacity, so that we'll be able to just help those people in Africa, so that we can develop a lot about a modern way of doing agriculture, so that we can just improve our agriculture system in the country.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's it.
Well, one of the things that Maria mentioned to you was that they came here to do agriculture, dairy farm. People do come here to do agriculture. The problems that we have are people, when you set up a farm system that is more than subsistence, you have folks even sabotaging the way you want to do things. For example, if we have extension farms, we're asking for a certain crop to be produced. We are buying the crop. We buy it at a certain price. All of a sudden, you want to price your crop, and that's fine. But in the initial agreement or contract says that this is the price we're buying the crop at. So we need to keep our word, our contracts, our agreements in place. One of the things that is upsetting to diaspora, because we come from places where contracts are king, is when you come here, people, even when they sign an MOU or a contract or an agreement, they don't go by it. Okay? We don't want to end up in court. That is not the thing that people want to do, to spend time in court. So contracts are very important for us. If we're going to come to develop Ghana, and I say Ghana because in other parts of Africa, they work differently. They actually do go with the contract. So patents and intellectual property and these type of things. So in certain ways, Ghana has to come up to the mark on legal framework, especially legal framework for business, intellectual property. What does that look like? Being able to patent your idea without everybody copying all over the place. Being able to collaborate. Those are things that are important for people that are coming to develop Africa. They want to know that when we come, our investment is secure. We're not going to be taken for a ride. That's what we're talking about. So many people call me up after they come here and they've made investment and they've lost big money, huge. And we can't afford for people to come and give us war stories, because the stories, when they're war stories, they go back. And you can't sit here and say you want an angel investor if you've made them into a devil. You can't do it. So our agreements that we have in line with business, in line with what we are doing as a people for development, they have to be secure. Does that answer your question?
Thank you very much, Madam Sherry. Our time is up, but we have Madam Oba Yapapebi back on the line. Let's get to her. Then our guest can give her closing remarks, then we'll end the conversation. So Oba Yapapebi, please, you're on the floor.
Thank you so much. Sherry, thank you for addressing that. I hear what the young man is saying, and I just wanted to make a quick comment. I will do my best to make it quick. The fact of the matter is, when you ask for help, there are a lot of times where we are giving help and that help is not monetary. Sometimes people have the wrong idea that diaspora is coming to Ghana with bags of money, or we have access to some kind of magical money from America or from the UK or wherever that we can just come and fund projects. This is not saying that you are saying that, but it happens very often that we are seen as if we automatically have like a large amount of money to invest in a project. And as Sherry said, sometimes we do have money, we invest in our own projects. And because of the trust issues and the lack of legal structure, we end up losing thousands and thousands of dollars. I can sit here and I can tell you about the land that I thought I bought that never came to pass. or the things that I partner with people that never came to pass. So anyone, whether you are a diaspora or Ghanaian, you have to be very careful who you partner with. It's not simply about, the diaspora can come and give us, to be honest, we're all being honest here, right? Most of
Yeah.
us, and I'm speaking from experience because I have many businesses here. And one of those businesses is I give classes because I have registered businesses here. I give business plan classes and business consultation classes to show you how to get your business set up properly here in Ghana. The things that you have to go through. I teach people how to run their NGO here in Ghana because I run my NGO here in Ghana, and in the States, I did it for more than 20 years. But what I'm saying is most, and this is from experience, this is not me speaking out of turn, most Black Americans coming from America, I can't speak about anyone else. Most Black Americans coming to America are coming here because the cost of living is less. Not because we have so much money that we want to come and live here rich. We have this small amount, and we know that once we come here, if we do it well, that it will stretch further here than in America. So sometimes, unfortunately, the idea is, oh, the dollar. The dollar is nonsense, especially now here in Ghana. Forget it. But it has to do with trust. And as anyone knows, it's very hard to build trust with people. And it's like she also said, once you have been burned or you get a bad idea of something, it's very hard to work with the person again. So I will always suggest that you try to build a community of people that you can trust. And if they're able to partner with you or assist with you, that will come. But unfortunately, it's not like most people think, like we just have like money and we come here and we can just start, pouring it out. I don't think anyone in this climate of finance in the world, I don't think anyone is really, or I should say the majority of us in this financial climate in the world has it like that. But I do believe in partnering and working together. I'm an educator. I love to teach. I can teach you how to market your business well. I can teach you how to plan it out well. There are people who have asked me for money, for assistance, and I'll ask them one simple question. Well, let me see your business plan. They don't have it.
They don't have it.
Thank you.
So I
They
can't
don't have
I
it.
can't even take you seriously. I can't even take you seriously because you can't ask me for money and you even don't have a way to tell me exactly what it is that you think you're going to do with the money.
Okay, so
Not even
unfortunately,
that. Not even that.
Oh, we have run out of time.
Wrap up.
yeah, we've run out
Let
of
me
time.
wrap up.
And Madam
Yes.
Sherry, we will have to
Wrapping
come
up.
to you for your closing statement. But
Yeah.
before
Amen.
that, we still have Hugh's hand up. I want us to take Hugh's quickly, then we can come to you, Madam Sherry, for
Okay.
your closing statement. Then we will leave the platform. So, brother, Mr. Hughes, if you can hear me, although I don't know whether I got your name right, please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Hughes.
Hughes, okay.
Yes. In French, it's called Hugues. It's Francophone name.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm happy to join this conversation this evening. My first question is, are you planning to have any in-person meeting in Ghana?
Sure, definitely we will. But for now, it's a monthly conversation, and you can see that it's about the diaspora and the motherland. And our family members are scattered all over the world. And it is difficult at the moment to have in person. But before the year goes to an end, we will definitely have one get together so we can see each other face to face. Okay?
Okay, thank you for that.
But are you in Ghana or which part of Africa are you? Because you have a French name. Which part of Africa are you, say?
I'm in Ghana.
You are in Ghana. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Then I've also seen a hand from the
please, I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My second thing I will say is about how to connect the dots between diaspora and Ghanaian. So when Ghanaian hear that somebody from outside is in Ghana, what they think is about money. But there's no money anywhere that they just go and get easily. So if people in Ghana want to do business with Ghanaian, what they can do is to learn about the culture and then understand how the people in Ghana works before they can invest their money inside. Also to trust people.
Okay. All right. So, Madam Sherry will add that one to closing statement. Okay. But when you go to the chat room, although our time is up, we also have Mr. Daniel Ayebida, whose hand is rather in the chat room. So we are unable to see. So, Mr. Daniel Ayebida, please go ahead. Mr. Daniel Ayebida Kwashi. Okay, I guess it's not around. So thank you. Good. So yes, the diaspora community that you want to come to Ghana to do business, it is always good to connect with the existing structures. Currently, we are working so hard to support the government of Ghana to set up the Migration Commission. There's Commission for Betting, Commission for Energy, Commission for this, Commission for that. But the Commission for Migration is still not set up yet. And when we are able to set up that, a lot of these negative situations that the diaspora community experiences coming to Ghana will be resolved. But before that, if you are able to get in touch with, for instance, if you are in US, New York, for instance, National Ghana Parade Council, on which Madam Catherine Kujo is a president, is a fantastic connection to pass through to get to do proper business in Ghana. I also, this particular conversation is also being held by the Holistic Migration Consult. We are able to help you to land properly. Madam Sherry Thompson has been in Ghana for over 27 years now.
Yes.
Is the best link to get to the continent. So we are also pleading with you that don't just pack your bags and baggage and jump. Please do the proper linkages, the connections before you move. It will help. Then let me go back to our guest, Madam Sherry Thompson, for her closing statement. Thank you.
Well, you said it. Don't just pack your bags and baggage. Do your feasibility before you get here, and understand that the goalpost does change here. Every now and then, people say that this is happening. One of the things that I tell people is that you do not buy land in Ghana. You lease land in Ghana. So terminologies are different. Learn what goes on here before you jump. I like that. Before you jump, learn before you burn. Learn before you burn. There's experts here on this platform. They've even mentioned themselves. Get with them. Get with them. Talk with them. Understand what they're about. I'm a consultant myself. So my number, if you should want to get my services, 054-871-9680. Okay, people call me all the time, but I'm a consultant, so I get paid. All right, so that's where we're wrapping up. It's easy to say you want to come, but do the work in order to come well. Peace.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Madam Sherry Thompson. And on behalf of the Holistic Migration Consult and the Key Mama Foundation, we would like to say a very big thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to honor this invitation to be our guest for the August edition of the Diaspora Motherland Conversation. And all of you from all over the place, from Jamaica, from Equatorial Guinea, from Ghana, from the United States, and all over the place. We are not on the same time zones. Some of you is very late in the night because somebody calling very early all the way from Tanzania. We appreciate all the sacrifices you have all made. Key Mama Foundation, we really thank you so much for supporting us with your Zoom link to be able to host this program once every month. We thank all of you. Don't forget, the Key Mama Foundation is holding a tour to Ghana in March. Now, those of you in the diaspora who like to experience Ghana before you even go for business, this is an opportunity we'll encourage you to take. So thank all of you so much for being part of this conversation. We'll meet again in September, and I hope to see all of you there. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Shall we say a closing prayer? Father, Lord Almighty, we thank you for a beautiful day like this, where family members from far and near have gathered for a conversation that will lead to the development and progress of motherland Africa, and also improve the lot of Africans living in the diaspora. We ask you to continue to shower your blessings upon this conversation, and the kind of things we have learned here, we ask for the grace and ability to be able to go and implement them. We thank you for answering our prayer. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Thank you all for coming, and God richly bless you.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm from Sierra Leone. I live in Sierra Leone, and I'm very happy for this initiative. Thank you very much. My name is Mustafa Toure.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, my brother. Leave your name in the chat room for me, your number, so I can get in touch with you all. Better send me your contact through WhatsApp so that the team can get in touch with you, sir.
I will do that. I'm a diamond evaluation consultant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you all. God